Today, I created a list of the rarest items you could own in Fortnite, because in just a few weeks, Epic Games has ruined ones considered unobtainable. Now, you may own something that's considered insanely rare, and number 1 starts with a skin removed from the item shop after 60 minutes. The Paradigm was sold as an outfit as a limited time exclusive in Chapter 1, with Epic saying she would never return. And this is exactly why the Brie Larson version came out years later, because no one could complete their 7 collection, so it coming back was a big deal and clearly an accident. Epic panicked, removed her, and said they would delete the skin from people's lockers. Well, they changed their mind, and in doing so created one of the rarest items in Fortnite, Paradigm the Reality Warrior style. Now, if you own this next skin, that means you are one of 6,000. I'm talking about Indigo Kuno. This exclusive version of the Kuno outfit could only be unlocked if you placed high in the PlayStation Generations Cup. After it ended, the skin never returned. Let's talk about collabs though. Usually, they never come back, but if they're rare, you will never know until it's too late. The only reason crossovers stay in the vault is because their contract was limited timed, or there was a controversy of some kind. Well, it has been over 1,000 days since the Arcane skins dropped, and since then demand has only gone up, but Fortnite hasn't responded to the hype. The show even got its final season, and no skins dropped to celebrate. Even the creators of the show have expressed regret that it hasn't come back, and it's all because the original drop was meant to be limited time. You see, it's not just cosmetics that are rare. Fortnite sometimes drops a feature with the tiniest chance of finding it. For example, reality augments. You can play for weeks and not realize you're missing out on a perk with a 0.3% chance. If you're somehow lucky enough to get this, the title spoke for itself. The Mythic Grab Bag. Just activate it and you will literally be given a mythic for free. Shogun X is one of the coolest bosses we've had in Fortnite, but did you know he has a 12% chance of dropping an insane gun? Usually, you take him out to be rewarded with one of 7 mythics, but if you're lucky, you'll get the Mythic Sentinel Pump, the only gun in the game that can 200 pump, and a majority of players have never even seen it. Just like you will never be able to earn the rarest shop skins of all time. Ever since Fortnite came out, we've all known that Aerial Assault Trooper and Renegade Raider have been the hardest skins to come by, mostly because they were sold behind an XP challenge from 2017 and just never returned. Over the years, they built a reputation as skins you're never gonna get, until the shop updated for Chapter 6. There they were. Social media was set on fire, with fans begging Epic to reward them for being day 1 OGs, and they listened. This year, anyone who owned Renegade Raider or Aerial Assault Trooper will be getting exclusive OG styles, and there's probably less than 5,000 people who own this. Now there's an entire collab that's more exclusive than the game it belongs to. Kratos came to Fortnite a couple years ago as part of the Hunter season, and considering he was part of the item shop, people just expected this to be a regular occurrence, and we were completely wrong. Kratos never came back, and as a treat, anyone who owned him could log in on a PS5 and get an exclusive gold style, just to make this rare collab even more special. Speaking of gold, what is rarer than Kratos? Well, you'd be surprised to know it's a banana. Not just any banana, but the one we all know and love, Peely's. So what is special about him? Well, in Chapter 2, they dropped a new version of him called the Agent Peely, and it was during the spy season where the super styles were pure gold. The problem here is to unlock him, you had to get an insane amount of XP. I'm talking level 350. Someone did the math on this and equated it to almost 30 million XP to get this skin. That's almost 2,000 hours. For the sweats that pulled it off, you can now unlock his fully gold style, and once the pass ended, it was unobtainable forever. Now, out of everything in this video, you probably didn't expect a stalker to be one of the rarest occurrences. Look, in 2024, the Wanderer wasn't exactly hard to find. If anything, he tracked you down, it would basically just terrify you from a distance. If you shot at him, it wouldn't do anything, and getting too close would cause him to completely vanish. Except, there was a way to kill this guy that Fortnite never expected. You had to be super lucky, spawn near a car or a gas can, and you could shoot that in order to get him with an explosion. In return, this supposedly immortal NPC would drop an item. Even funnier, it was a great pistol. That's when players realized you could turn into him as Mystique, so not only can you try the unreleased skin, but you even got the invisibility effect.
Oh, I'm invincible! I'm invincible!
Wait, what?
Something that was also meant to last a lifetime was the Axe of Champions. For years, this has been ultra rare, an item that only one team on the planet could have at any given time. And well, this pickaxe decided, I guess I want freedom, and appeared in the item shop out of nowhere. Now, Fortnite has realized they needed a replacement and cooked up something new and improved, the Blade of Champions. Like its predecessor, this is an item that only the current FNCS winner could hold. This is where we sense a pattern here, because Reflex is also meant to be super exclusive until Epic messed up. They accidentally brought him to the item shop and caused thousands of players to panic. Legally, this was meant to be an NVIDIA exclusive and could have opened them up to legal trouble for selling it. So Fortnite dropped something else, a red and black version of the outfit for original owners. Except now they're both ultra rare, because the original still hasn't come back to the shop for over 2,000 days. Something everybody has been struggling to find is on the Chapter 6 map right now. This season has a ton of sprites you can find and take to a temple, getting a boon in return. There's one sprite though that you can't pick up. In fact, you have to sacrifice something to them instead. This is an Earth sprite, and at the start of the season, they had one of the rarest spawn chances out there. Nobody could find them, and if they were somehow lucky enough to encounter one, they defeated a weapon in return for amazing loot. And well, everyone complained about how hard they were to find. In the end, Epic realized their mistake and were forced to increase the amount that appeared per match, so they're not that rare anymore. For all of you football fans, you're well aware that your favorite team is probably in Fortnite, and you're not allowed to buy it. The 4th down set was one of the first ever sports collabs in the game. You can customize it with 37 different logos, except it hasn't been seen since 2020. That's right, 5 years ago. In fact, the set included a toy that's even rarer than the outfits. This is the pigskin football, and well, it was in the shop for just one day in 2019. It is guaranteed to never return. So is the controversial celebrity emote. All the way back in Chapter 2, Fortnite shocked everyone with more Icon series dances than ever, including Go Mufasa, based on a song by DaBaby.
Fly across the country, I finished the show and I've been...
Recognize the emote? Well, if you don't, it's probably because it was banned from ever returning to the shop. DaBaby did a bunch of crazy stuff, and Fortnite blacklisted him from appearing in the store. Now don't get me started on the most exclusive superhero mythic in Fortnite history. During the Marvel season, we had a lot of superpowers to choose from, but what if we wanted to play as Doom? Well, first of all, you had to survive 15 minutes, which is long enough for the loot island to appear. Then, you basically just had to pray your odds were good, because there's only a 5% chance of it turning into Doom's island. So if you were then lucky enough to see the island, you'd still have to be the very first player in the lobby to capture it. Your reward was Doom's Ultra Armor. Most times you want a rare item, you just have to be early. The best example is during the first ever Fortnite Mares, where Epic celebrated by releasing Ghoul and Skull Trooper. You see, these were never meant to be exclusive, and by the time Fortnite had blown up in 2018, people were calling these the rarest skins out there. But then, the next Fortnite Mares rolled around, bringing back Skull Trooper and causing the first ever OG controversy. Players who were there on day one demanded recognition, and that's when Epic came up with the idea. Anyone who had the OG Skull Trooper would be rewarded with the purple glow style. 1 year later, and they did the exact same thing with Ghoul Trooper. Now, sometimes a rare skin can be valuable outside of the game. Let me explain that. In 2019, Fortnite started partnering with Panini to drop limited time training cards. They don't make them anymore, but it quickly became obvious that some of them would be very valuable. For example, the rarest card in the entire collection was a crystal shard version of Black Knight, and somebody realized their card was in mint condition and sold it at auction for $34,000. I think most players would rather spend their money on in-game items, and that's why the Merriment Axe became such a huge collector's item. This was a minty version of the Candy Cane pickaxe from 2017, and the only way to get it was by purchasing a code in real life. Well, it wasn't long before Epic stopped selling them, and the minty pickaxe became one of the most sought-after items of all time. Some players have been spending a ton of money on codes for this thing, and yet all of the codes expired in February 2020, so it's impossible to find now. It is one of those things where if you missed out, you'll never get the chance to use it, just like a forgotten LTM, Bodyguard. It is unlikely this mode will ever come back, but when it was released, players noticed a weapon in the loot pool that Epic never talked about, the mythic Bandage Bazooka. You could already tell it wasn't meant to be here. On the ground, it looked like dual pistols, and when you picked it up, this thing had unlimited ammo and only took up one slot. No one has ever gotten an answer as to what this was or why it was in the mode, but Epic quickly vaulted it once they realized. The craziest part is, if you did have a limited time mythic in Chapter 3, you could keep it for the next season and have an item no one else could get. It was thanks to Tents, an item that let you store weapons for the next match. So, if you had an insanely powerful MK7 in your tent and it was vaulted, Fortnite wouldn't delete it from storage, and this caused hundreds of players to have unobtainable items in BR. It's a prime example of times Fortnite messes up, and they might be the only developer to reward players whenever the game has issues. Let's take it back to Chapter 1, when there was a huge server outage and Fortnite was unplayable at the peak of its popularity. popularity. A lot of fans were extremely frustrated. Nothing like this had happened before, and Epic were super apologetic about it for whatever reason. They felt so bad that they decided to reward everyone with the Rust Bucket back bling, and it was 0 V-Bucks. After a while, it was gone, never to return, and now anyone who owns it has this as a reminder Epic are way too kind sometimes. It's not the only rare back bling. If I showed you this vintage backpack, most people would be like, what is it? I've never seen it before. And that's the point. This was in the store just 3 times in 2018 as part of a back bling bundle. For 800 V-Bucks, you could get this backpack and 2 other bags, but I guess it didn't sell very well because Fortnite never let it return. Sometimes it's out of their control, kind of like the contract problem with Arcane and Kratos, but the most famous crossover that is legally blocked from coming back is Travis Scott. At first, fans thought Epic themselves had blacklisted him after the Astroworld tragedy, but the theories were so overwhelming that Tim Sweeney himself had to confirm Travis wasn't banned. It's just that Epic can't do anything about it. And even at Ice Spice's Chapter 5 concert, Travis appeared on the song but was shown as a hologram. Clearly, there's a lot more going on here than we realize. What newer players probably don't know is how the game used to be on a disc. And I'm not kidding, a few months before Battle Royale came out, you could buy a physical copy of Fortnite at GameStop. Eventually, Epic stopped doing this and went digital only, but it didn't stop these copies from going mega viral, some even selling for hundreds of dollars. And maybe you could just sell the entire console it came with. You see, over the years, Fortnite has been bundled with tons of systems, from Eon or Huntmaster Saber with the Xbox to the rarest of all, Wildcat and Double Helix. These Nintendo Switch bundles are now so rare that they go for thousands of dollars online. Although, you can't make money off of this next rare feature, but it does make you feel rich. Back when Rift Encounters were a thing, players were starting to realize one of them was way cooler than the rest. There was a small chance you'd be walking around, and suddenly there were now 3 llamas staring at you. It's something that fans would have dreamed about, and I've clickbaited back in Chapter 1. In fact, even Team Rumble gets you a glimpse of this. You'll map a glitch out and have a spot where 3 llamas stacked on top of each other. People have noticed this happen in Battle Royale too, just with supply drops. This is ultra rare, and it just looks like my thumbnails. And so is the secret weapon you'll never be able to use. During the invasion season, there was a huge mothership in the sky, and obviously Epic didn't want us killing each other up here, so they replaced their items with alien knockback guns that did 0 damage. Well, that's until players started finding a way to glitch it back down onto the map.
Yes!
Nice.
Yes!
Nice. Nice.
He's out.
Now, I'm gonna quickly talk about sprays, and before you go boring, this is one of the most interesting cosmetics in the entire video. Throughout chapters 1 and 2, Epic slowly released some exclusive sprays, whether it's from playing the End event, a PS4 Cup, even taking part in a fishing contest, and there were 4 available. Well, the coolest part was, if you collected all 4, they could be merged together to form a complete Rift puzzle, making this combined spray one of the rarest in the game. And don't even get me started on the Fresh emote. It's one of the most iconic lawsuit cosmetics out there, when Alfonso from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air tried to sue Epic for stealing the dance from the show. Now, he eventually dismissed the suit because, he wasn't gonna win, but that hasn't stopped Epic from banning the emote. Now, there's one feature that was only in Fortnite for a single day. While testing the ability to hire NPCs that follow and heal you, they decided to drop a prototype, Bud the Mushroom. The little guy was in a forest in Chapter 2, and if you emoted, it would wake him up. Then you had to feed him 100 wood, and you get a tiny little friend that followed you around while healing constantly. But after just 24 hours, Bud was deleted. It's a pretty sad story, but it wouldn't stop Fortnite from referencing this rare feature years later. That's right, during the final season of the chapter, players found Bud hiding in a barn, and of course, they emoted to wake him up, hoping they would get healed. Instead, we got trolled. You know what's really crazy? Borderlands is getting a brand new sequel. They launched an entire movie last year, and yet the Psycho bundle never returned. If you want a Claptrap back bling or a Psycho skin, good luck. This thing was last seen in 2020. The same goes for a collab that was never meant to happen. I've talked plenty about the imposters controversy and Fortnite apologizing to Among Us and then still doing a crossover with them. And so out of nowhere, in 2022, you can now wear a crewmate on your back, and a lot of people loved it. But if only they knew it was exclusive. After only 8 days, the collab was ejected and never seen again. How many of you are OG enough to remember the time we shot fireworks? You're probably thinking, what? Well, during summer 2018, Fortnite dropped an ultra rare firework gun that looked exactly like your average grenade launcher. You'll also never be able to get your hands on the coveted Revive grenade. This was exclusive to the Bodyguard LTM, and from the name, you could probably guess what it did.
Wait, I want to try this thing. Oh, and it has a 20-second cooldown.
Now, you probably all know about the Galaxy skin. It was one of the first ever exclusives, and I'm not joking when I say everyone wanted it. Many were willing to go to extreme lengths to get it. Galaxy Mania was insane as fans rushed to their local stores to get a demo phone, log on, play Fortnite, and unlock the skin for themselves. But I don't think it's a coincidence that Mike Lowry has become a rare skin, with Fortnite dropping this outfit in 2021 and just never bringing it back. Since it was released, Will Smith got into a lot of heat for the whole Oscars drama, and it's likely the reason he's blacklisted. Some items are historically so rare that Fortnite had to fix them. Like in the spy season, players could find a mythic goldfish, which had to be in a specific lake, and only had a 1 in 1 million chance of spawning. Literally unobtainable, but on the bright side, if you got one, it would insta-kill anyone you threw at it. So did you know when Fortnite brought this back for Remix, they knew it had to be easier to find and increase the chances to 1 in 10,000, even making it possible to find in chests. Then in the Marvel season, players started to notice something strange in the waters. If you fished in the Lake of the Authority, you had a 1% chance of finding the Midas Flopper. When you ate it, it turned everything in your inventory to legendary. Earlier I talked about how the season shop returned, but what you didn't realize is how something is missing from it. In the original, the Mako glider could be unlocked, and to this day is considered the rarest glider in history. At one point, Epic accidentally put it in the item shop for New Year's 2018 and then obviously quickly removed it. Players were praying it would come back with Renegade, an aerial assault trooper, except it is completely absent, retaining its crown. The same goes for the items you could only get during the Fortnite World Cup. To celebrate the massive occasion, Epic dropped skins like World Warrior, along with a Kiss the Cup emote, and even an exclusive style for fish stick. So not only is this the rarest fish stick in the whole game, none of these cosmetics will ever return. If you were around for the flood season, you might remember a certain mushroom that was ridiculously OP. Walking around, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance that a regular shield mushroom will be transformed into the golden truffle. If you consumed it, you would get 100 shield in an instant. Now, you might not realize that we once had dual pistols in Fortnite with silencers. That's right, during the Spy Games LTM, Epic dropped a crazy amount of experimental weapons, including this one, which you had to be tech level 23 to unlock. So even if you played the LTM a ton, it was still ridiculously hard to get. And you also aren't able to unlock collabs like Major Laser anymore. Well, this is once again probably because of contracts. There's another skin with a more sinister backstory, and that is Rue. For some reason, Fortnite thought it was a good idea to drop a skin that looks oddly similar to, I'm not trying to get demonetized here, so we'll say German soldiers. Obviously, this didn't ring alarm bells for anyone at Epic until Rue dropped in the store, and immediately, that's when they realized the issue. After only 2 appearances, Rue was blacklisted forever. Now, when it comes to rare items, you wouldn't expect a music pack to be one of them, but in Chapter 1, Epic revealed the Get Funky track. It was literally just a lobby version of the Get Funky Battle Pass emote. Well, it was only in the shop 3 times before vanishing forever. Literally less than 1,000 people probably own this. And you literally have had to play since day 1 if you know about the Wreck-It Ralph crossover that's like literally never coming back. Out of nowhere, in 2018, the shop updated with a new emote, Hot Mirage. Obviously taken from a scene in Wreck-It Ralph 2, and was on sale for 0 V-Bucks. Within just 48 hours, gone. Now that the season shop is back, the list of rarest OG skins has changed. Now instead of Renegade Raider, the crown belongs to Battle Pass skins like Black Knight, Sparkle Specialist, and of course, the Reaper. Here we are at number 50, and that means it's time to talk about the rarest item in Fortnite history. You know and love it, I talk about it all the time, the Zapatron. It's a gun that only existed for 30 minutes during the earliest days of Fortnite, and it's so hard to find that there's only one confirmed sighting on YouTube from 2017. Didn't even come back for OG, keeping its title as the most hidden, secretive, and rarest weapon of all time. Keep in mind this list isn't exactly ranked because cosmetics are kind of subjective, you know? You can't really say this is the rarest skin or that's the rarest skin, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.